Awesome.
And then I'm going to hit broadcast.
Alrighty.
All right, we are live on Facebook, everybody.
Okay, perfect. So that's working. Awesome. Awesome. And you guys have all the controls you need in regards to record and hosting controls. And you can
Yes,
see the attendance.
I'm going to go ahead and hit the record button.
Okay,
so we
fantastic.
get that started.
And I see that some attendees are joining. So when...
Yes, we see people are coming in. We've got people coming in. Okay, so as you're entering the webinar tonight, everyone, please go ahead and introduce yourself. Share your name and where you're from inside the chat box. Just want to make sure that we are all set up and ready to go.
All righty. That's awesome.
I think we're good. I see us in Facebook. Thanks,
Fantastic.
Tammy, for your help.
I'm just going to be like a, little text message or message away. So I'm on standby.
Awesome. Thank you, Tammy.
You got it. Bye, guys.
So hi, Mary from Dubuque, Iowa. I know exactly where that is. I'm from a little town right in northern Illinois originally. So we used to drive to Dubuque to hang out every once in a while. Belinda from Melbourne, Australia. Diane from Ontario, Canada. Etienne from Quebec. Barbara from Cortland, Illinois, where my aunt lives. Nan is saying hi to Janet from Santa Fe, New Mexico. Mamie is from Colorado, I know. That's where she lives now anyway. Michelle from Pittsburgh. And Sharon from Oregon. Hello, hello. I see some familiar names rolling into the class tonight. This is class number 4 tonight. It's going to be the best one yet. So I'm excited. We have people coming in. Yvonne from Florida. Nan's in Las Vegas, New Mexico. Neil from Mobile. Is it Mobile or Mobile? I'm probably saying it wrong. Alabama. Welcome, welcome. We have we just were talking about tonight. We're having a little powwow meeting. We're excited to share with you to wrap up this week, this whole month, actually, not the week. It's been a whole month we've been together. So we've been developing relationships with all of you during this time. It's been so great to see so many people from all over the country and all over the world. Esther, of course, is in Laguna Beach, also known as Paradise. Love it. Oh, Esther, I like your top. You're looking fancy today.
Oh, Stephanie, that's how you finish.
That's right.
You finish with a glamour party, or you finish strong, you finish sexy, whatever you have to do, right?
Did you also get your hair done recently? Because it's looking extra, I don't know, like summery or something.
I didn't. Actually, next week I have a haircut, so.
Oh, well.
It's just my own
You'll look fantastic.
Thank you, Stephanie.
So if you're coming in, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know who you are, where you're from. We want to say hello. We're going to have fun tonight. I've got lots of cool polls. I'm known for liking the poll feature for Zoom. So we have several really cool polls. We're going to ask you to answer some questions and interact with us. So it starts now. And especially for those of you who came on early, I always love the early birds. I don't know how many, we have any blueprints in the house. So there's some blueprints that came in early. They are usually the ones that come in early. Share your bank code in the chat box. That's something else you can share. Oh, Dave, NAKB. No high blueprint there. But you're here early. Good job. Mary's an NAKB too. ANKA. Nice. NA, Diane. We'll have to, maybe I can create another, I didn't create a poll for that. We should have done that for tonight as well. I'd like to take a poll of what's your primary bank code, so we could just get like a mix of it. I think we did that week 1. So I think it was nurture was the highest, action second highest, and knowledge third, and then blueprint, I think. Oh, look at that. Esther's even sharing her numbers from her advanced assessments. Nice. Oh yes, Neil, we're going to get you the worksheets for tonight. They are coming. We are strategically going to share it at the appropriate time. So stay tuned. It's on its way soon. You'll have what you need. Barbara says, being early is my one blueprint necessity. We all have blueprint in us. We all do. So that's how your blueprint shows up, Barbara, is that you come early. So that's awesome. Laura is an NBKA, so your blueprint's high. Dave, nice. Thanks for sharing the spread there. Yeah, you're really close with your action and knowledge, it looks like. Actually, they're all kind of high, Dave. Julie is a bacon. Bacon, I think, was it Sherry that says that's her favorite code, bacon, because it reminds her of bacon. Oh no, Sharon, you lost the video. I don't know, is that I don't know, I think we're still going. I think we're still going strong. Maybe it's just you've got a slow connection where you are.
We're here.
We're here. Christina, aloha. Stephen in Edmonton with Remax. Nice. KBNA. Oh, Dave, I know K is third because that's my stress code. That's right. That's right. We like to share that the first is how you show up in the world. The second is who you want to become more of. The third is your stress code. And the fourth is what you avoid. What you resist, perhaps. I do resist the blueprint just a little bit. That's last in my code. Oh, good. Nan can see us. We're good. You're Hernan, it depends on your code if you're early or late. So is 6 minutes early enough? The blueprint might say, no, I need to be here 10 minutes, at least 10 minutes before. If you're only 6 minutes before, you might be late if you're a high blueprint, just saying. Hey, Karen and Lorenzo from Phoenix. Sharon, who's an NKBA. Oh, your blueprint's last, turn on. So I don't know. I think you're early then. Probably. I am an action, so I'm super early right now. I'm extra early for y'all. Hey, Angela, KNBA. Welcome, welcome. Now, have you all gotten these cards yet? Has anybody been able to do things in person? I know that we're limited, but I'm just curious. Has anybody been able to use their cards in person recently? Share yes in the chat box if you've been able to use your cards in the last month. I have them all the time. I wish I had more opportunities to do it in person with people. Nazira used them last weekend. Yay. Yes, yes, yes. Excellent. Michelle, celebrating my blueprint. Nice. 5 minutes early. Good job. Karen uses them a lot, but not as much since in person. Yeah, it's hard to do it in person these days. Diane, yes, in your counseling office. Excellent. You can always spray them. They're plastic, so you just, you wipe them down. Yes, they're great for parties, Jane. They're great conversation starters, right? And the next thing you know, the whole room is talking about it. It's almost like a game. Yes, Sharon, absolutely. You're using your bank pass via Zoom, right? I had a webinar today too. I did a presentation for e-learning U, which is, I guess it serves the travel industry. And I had 15 people crack their code on that webinar. 15 of them, that's 15 leads. And I had a couple other people email me for more information. So actually, I think I got 20 leads total between cracking codes and and sharing about banks. So it's a great tool to generate leads. Okay, I did it today. How do you import contacts in BankPass? So when someone cracks their code on your BankPass link, it automatically puts their contact information right inside your BCRM. So you don't have to import it. Now, if you want to, you can hit the little Excel logo and you can immediately export all of your contacts from the BCRM into an Excel spreadsheet. And that way you can just use the spreadsheet, or you can upload that into whatever other database program you might be using. Super, super simple. Mamie and I have done a couple bonus calls that are in the unit section of the Facebook group. So if you go to the Bank Masterclass Facebook group, go to units, you'll get all the recordings and the bonus calls that we did, where we really dove into BankPass, we dove into Codebreaker AI, we showed you how to log in, how to change your access code, how to grab leads, all of that stuff. So, but let us know if you have any questions. We're going to be here tonight to answer questions as well. So whatever you need. Paula, have not done it yet. Your code is BANK. Hi from New Jersey. Hey, Paula. We'll show you. We'll get you hooked by the end of this masterclass. How about that? Is that a deal? We'll help you use your tools. Jane, are you talking about sharing the live stream? I think since this isn't a private Facebook group, you're not allowed to share it outside the group, but you can invite people to the masterclass. So feel free to do that. Jane is ANKB. Melanie from Wesley Chapel, Florida. I love the Bank Masterclass. Oh, great. The masterclass has taught you more than the book. That's excellent to hear. So glad to hear that. I agree. There's something about the experience of being here live on the calls too. It's a different way of learning, right? The hands-on learning piece that you don't get when you just read a book. So that's why we do this. We want to offer these experiences to go a little bit deeper, to help people at a deeper level. Deborah, a BKAN, Sharon, Mary, yeah, everybody's sharing their codes. I love this. Paula, the Facebook group name is Bank Masterclass, and Masterclass is one word. So Bank Masterclass. Here, let me see if I can grab the URL. Actually, Mamie, can you do that? Can you grab the URL for the masterclass and throw it in the chat box? That'd be excellent. Thank you so much. Oh, Jane was on it too.
Okay,
she got it.
awesome.
Thanks, Jane. Check out the masterclass right there. Click on it. We'll approve you. Mamie will approve you.
I'm on that too.
So you can get in there and you can see all the previous recordings of everything we've done so far. And it's not too late to get the $1 trial. So we're offering all of our powerful tools, our BankPass prospecting tool and our Codebreaker AI to help you close more sales. Is still $1. It's not too late. Get it while it's hot. Hey, Michelle. And Anne is an NKAB. Greg is a BKNA. Excellent, Paula. Maybe I'll get you in that group. Teresa's an NKAB. Yvonne, we'll have Mamie send you a link, okay? Do a private message to you to send you the link on how to sign up. Nicole, yes. Maybe we should do a general post to get people signed up for the $1 too. All right, we're at the top of the hour, everybody. So let's get this party started because we are live streaming in Facebook and we have a lot of fantastic information we're going to cover with everyone this evening and lots of engagement as well. So I want to go ahead and bring forward our founder and the chairman of Codebreaker Technologies, the amazing, fantastic ANKB, Miss Sherry Tree.
Hi, everyone. I just want to make sure my video is working. So great seeing everybody. Listen, it's very, very exciting. I just want to welcome you to Masterclass Session 4. You know, it's been an amazing experience and just want you to type into the chat box. If you've been with us throughout this journey, Masterclass 1, 2, 3, and 4, I want you to type into the chat box on a scale of 1 to 10, what value have you been getting from it? So just type into the chat box on a scale of 1 to 10, just type in what value you've been getting from it. And I see the numbers coming in all over the place. You guys, some of you are very kind, 1 trillion, like that's amazing. But many of you have a common theme here of 10, 8 to 10. If it's ever below 7, I get a little concerned. I see one person said 6. Sorry to disappoint you. They say an expectation creates a premeditated resentment, right? So maybe you had a different expectation than what the class was about. But for those of you that are saying that this has been something that was beyond your expectations, and obviously the price was right, hopefully you got your values worth. So I want to go ahead and share my screen here, and I want to just kind of jump in and recap a few things. Today's going to be a very powerful session. We're gonna pull this whole thing together, and we want to answer the question of so what, now what? You know, for some of you, this might be the end of your journey with us. And if that's you, of course, we're always going to say thank you for your time with us. And we hope that we created an impact for you and your family and your life, and that you don't forget us. And when it comes to interacting with other human beings, you always take into consideration that there's 4 different types of people. And, you know, you must treat them and communicate with them differently if you want to optimize your relationships and conversations and results. Okay. For others of you, your journey is just beginning, and this today might be the conclusion of Masterclass, and it could simultaneously be the launch to a whole nother level. And I want you to type the word launch in the chat box. If you are the one I'm talking to that's ready to springboard into your future, that wants to go to a higher level, and you want something more. You don't want our journey to end. You don't want us to say goodbye. You want us to say hello. And we're going to go much deeper down the rabbit hole for those of you that are putting launch there into the chat box. And for some of you, this has the power to transform your entire life. And I'm very excited about that. So let me go ahead and get my screen ready to share here. And do that. And all right, when I'm my own tech department, be afraid, be very afraid. All right. So of course, you know, Masterclass. In the 4th session, as we kind of talk about like where we've come and why we created it, I just want to do a quick reminder of why we're really here, like the big picture, you know, the macro picture is we want to change the world. Like it's no small task. And actually, you know, just this last week on my cell phone, I got a pop-up newsfeed notice that said, Apple Computers is the first company in the world to be valued at a $2 trillion valuation. If you can imagine $2 trillion. And it reminded me of Steve Jobs' quote when he said, you know, basically the crazy ones are the ones that actually believe that they can change the world, and they're crazy enough to do it. And we believe that we fit into that category. We believe, you know, today as I looked out right here, I have a 180-degree view of the beautiful ocean in Laguna Beach. And as I looked out at the ocean today, I thought to myself, we're actually going to change the world. And I'm 100% convinced of that. We will change the world in our lifetime. And we're going to do that with Bank, with our 6 intelligences. And we've already been changing the world on such a phenomenal level with our existing client base that's why we're passionate to share this with you. Okay, so as we take you through the 6 intelligences, as you've gone on a journey, again, some of you are complete and you're like, thanks, I've got everything I need. And we're going to bless you on your journey. And others of you are like, not even close. Let's continue the conversation. You know, at the end of the day, the purpose behind us is to create one world, one language. You know, what if we could have a human race where we actually all learned how to speak in code, where we could honor and respect each other in a way that allows us to be really intelligent human beings, you know, and that we can be powerful communicators, and that we can develop empathy and understanding more than ever before. And as we look at today's world with COVID, the impact of this virus that's literally created a worldwide pandemic. I mean, the things that have happened as a result are, as Tom Hopkins would say, unbelievable. And that can be good unbelievable or bad unbelievable. And it's up for you to interpret that. But we don't want life to end as we know it. We believe that this is not the end, and we are still existing, and the world is still spinning, and there are 7 billion people out there. And let's bring them a communication protocol that can transform everything, because language is very powerful. So as you look at Bank and you see this as, yes, it's personality based. Yes, it's people focused. Yes, it's profit driven, but it's also purpose driven. And the purpose, as you recall, is, we're developing basically a language protocol that we're transferring to you. If I could put a USB key in your head and into your heart, and I could transfer everything that I know about these codes and distill it into you. And if you could transfer that to the people that you're working with, this is what has the power to impact civilization. This is what creates civilization. This goes back to the Rosetta Stone concept that we talked about in the very first masterclass. Okay. And when you've heard people, when you've heard before, like the mayor gives people the key to the city because they did something extraordinary for their city and they're like the hero of the city, they get the key to the city. I want to remind you that this bank system is the key to humanity. This is the one that allows you to literally unlock every single door of opportunity from this point forward. Every person you communicate with, every person you interact with, every human being from this point forward, you're going to realize, for those of you especially that decide to go deeper down the rabbit hole, that you have a very powerful tool. Matter of fact, I like to call Bank not just the language of people, I like to call it the language of the gods. And I'm going to be so bold as to say that if you believe in a higher power and you believe that that higher power created life for us here on this planet, and that we human beings are walking around in the image of God, and that we have these operating systems, that are based in these bank codes, that surely the powers above knew exactly how to communicate with all of us. And what I love about the idea of this being the language of the gods is to remind you that every single one of you has been installed with your own version of this microchip of the language of the gods in having all 4 parts inside of you. Every single one of you has blueprint, even if it's last, you still have blueprint inside of you. It's in your genetic makeup, your spiritual makeup, right? We talked about spiritual intelligence, and every single one of you has action in you. Again, whether that's your first or your middle or your last codes, you have action inside of you. And you don't have to be a victim in life. You don't have to be someone who life happens to. You can get out there and you can take action and you can make powerful decisions and you can implement and you can do what Nike says, just do it, right? You have that inside of you, no excuses, it's in you. And every single one of you has a dose of nurturing. Some of you have more of it, some of you have less of it, but every single one of you has nurturing inside of you. And that's what gives you the seeds of really having amazing empathy, emotional intelligence, kindness as your currency, the ability to magnetically attract people and to do good for people, to do good here in the world. And you have that inside of you. Thank God. And the last piece of you, of course, every single one of you has K inside of you. You have knowledge, you have intelligence, you have wisdom, you have intellect, you have access to incredible things. And the key is to be able to make smart decisions and to know when you're recognizing the right programs to align with, the right people to align with, the right communities to belong to, the right mentors to attach to. All of that is inside of you. And that's why I believe in a higher power. I believe in the divine. And as we've taken you through these 6 intelligences, the key part of what I hope that you're learning is that you've been able to, when you hear someone like Les Brown says that you have greatness inside of you, that greatness, in our opinion, is in the form of the bank codes. And you have all of the ingredients that you need to become ultra successful in life, ultra successful in your relationships, ultra successful in business. And so I don't ever want you for one moment to doubt yourself. I want you to absolutely believe in every fiber of your being that you as a human being can be optimized to live an extraordinary life. And for those of you that say, I'm in, type I'm in, type I'm in the chat box. If you're that person that says, yes, I've got all of the codes that are inside of me. I've got unlimited human potential. I can literally become everything that I'm predestined to become in this lifetime because you have access to it. Okay. And for some of you, you might need an extra boost, an extra mentorship, an extra handholding. We're going to show you how to get access to that. Of course, we've created that in our environment, in our ecosystem, because we believe with everything in us that that's what is required if you want to live like a life totally fulfilled. Okay. And, as you look at the formula for success here, where you have to have mindset, you have to have positive mindset. You have to believe every single day that you can get out there and you can do it. Okay. When you fall down, you get back up. Okay. Nobody here is a loser. Nobody is a failure. Like you're going to get out there and we're going to make things happen. Okay. So mental toughness, mindset. And then you've got to have the right skill sets. You can have the world's best positive mental attitude, but if you don't have skill sets and you can't do something and you experience failure over and over and over again, it's only a matter of time before your mindset starts to corrode away and your mindset starts to turn against you and you turn positive into negative. And we've seen this happen. We've seen people become victims in life, and that's not going to happen to you, is it? Right? No. Okay. So developing your skill sets and getting really super sharp with what you're able to do. And then of course you need access to tool sets. And this goes back to, I'm a student of Franklin Covey and Stephen Covey's work and the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Leadership, and he talks about sharpen the saw, because why would you ever want to go cut down a tree in the forest example with a dull blade? You need access to tool sets. You need things that allow you to save yourself time, energy, and money. And those are systems. So tool sets can be tools, trainings, and technologies. And we've showcased to you over the past 3 weeks, and now your 4th week, what these types of things look like for this type of an experience, right? And journey with us. And of course, when you combine those 3 like a formula, mindset plus skill set plus tool set, it equals jet set. And for me, jet set it's your interpretation of whatever your dreams look like. Jet set life could mean traveling around the world, being able to live life on your terms and living the life that you really love. Jet set could mean simply building and leaving a legacy. It's just being able to have the freedom to do life on your terms. Nobody's going to tell you what to do. Nobody has their thumb of control over you. Nobody alters your destiny except for you. And when you combine these 3 together, right, you create something magnificent. And so we introduce you in this masterclass to the 6 intelligences. Okay. And we're going to do some poll questions. And I just want to kind of, as part of the wrap today, I just want to remind you what you went through. And I'm going to start with personality intelligence. Like just a quick recap. Remember what personality intelligence is. Remember that there's 4 different unique personality types or styles that are out there, and we call them BANK: blueprint, action, nurturing, and knowledge. Remember that every single person has a bank code, every human being in the world. I have a little baby. He's like teeny, teeny, tiny. He just turned 3 months old, and he has a bank code. And how we communicate with him is different than how you would communicate with other bank codes. And so inside is the understanding that every single human being has this operating system of bank. And remember that every human being has part blueprint, part action, part nurturing, and part knowledge. There's 24 different bank code combinations, and the odds of you communicating perfectly is like roughly 4%. Okay. So the bank intelligence is creating the awareness that there's different types of people and helping you understand the fundamental operating system of human beings and really, really getting that. Now, we're gonna put up a quick poll, but before we show you the poll, Stephanie, would you mind coming out here and I'd love for you to share, like, what does, if you are fully optimized on a scale of 1 to 10 at a level 10 in personality intelligence, what does that look like? Would you mind sharing what a level 10?
Yeah, Absolutely. So reminder to everybody what a level 10 personality intelligence is that you code every single person that you meet. You code every TV program you watch, every marketing message that you see. BANKCODE is a part of who you are. It's second nature, and it's the lens through which you filter every conversation and experience in the world. That's level 10. So knowing that, how would you rank your personality intelligence? Do you rank it as low, medium, or high? Are you coding every single person that you meet? Are you coding the television programs you watch, the marketing messages that you see? Is it everything that you look at? Is it through that lens of, is this a blueprint, an action, a nurture, a knowledge? Every conversation you have, are they speaking blueprint in that moment? Are they speaking action in that moment? And as you become a master at this and you become level 10, everything is filtered through Bank. Low, medium, or high. So right now we've got, it's coming in, 163 responses so far. And it looks like about almost half of you are saying medium. About 35% are saying low, and about 17-ish% are saying high. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll just share the results real quick of those of you who went ahead and took the poll. That's what we're looking at right now.
Okay, perfect. So thank you, Stephanie, for helping conduct the poll. So as you're looking at personality intelligence, the question I want you asking yourself is, do I have room to improve? And if I improve, and if I can move the needle from low to medium to high, and when you're at high, there's levels of high. It's kind of like, I had a friend who was in martial arts, and he says the first goal is to move from white belt to black belt. Your second goal is to move from black belt back to white belt. And I was confused, and I'm like, I don't understand. You mean go back to beginner? And he said, no. He said, Sherry, there's multiple degrees of black belt. And the key is that when you wear your black belt and you become so good, you literally fray your belt and it turns back to white. That is like levels of mastery of like, blow my mind. And so as you move from low to medium to high, and then if you're already in the high, what are the multiple levels of black belt optimization? What could happen if you could master this art? Okay. And that's what I want you thinking about, because we're going to talk about, for those of you that typed in launch in the chat box earlier, what does the next level look like? And how do you monetize that? How do you turn that into revenue? How do you turn that into relationship currency? How do you turn that into results? How do you turn that into legacy? Okay. So thank you, Stephanie. Go ahead and clear the poll. And now let's talk about intelligence number 2, which was sales intelligence. Now, back in the day, this was originally why I indoctrinated myself into these philosophies that I'm sharing with you, is how could I ultimately close more sales in less time? And if you remember, we talked to you about the sales velocity equation. And we said, if you want to increase velocity, like the speed of getting an airplane up and off the ground safely, so that you can actually take your business into flight, take your life into flight, and then if you're already in flight, can you go to higher and higher levels? Like, can you actually orbit and get outside in outer space in results, right? Where you're just like extraordinary, okay? And sales intelligence is about understanding how do you apply the personality intelligence into sales intelligence, so that generating leads, increasing your deal value, accelerating your win rate, which is another word for close rate, the getting of the yes, and shortening the sales cycle, where you're able to reduce the friction of what normally takes 5 to 12 appointments for a typical customer to say yes, to actually reduce down to 4, 3, 2, 1. And you're shaving enormous amounts of time and energy into that sales velocity equation, which creates the vertical thrust of velocity for your success. Okay. So Stephanie, go ahead and read what level 10 sales intelligence looks like. And then we're going to have you score yourself there too.
All right. So sales intelligence means you optimize every piston of the sales velocity equation. You're a genius at bundling products to maximize deal value. Your sales cycle is lightning fast, and you regularly close deals on the first and only sales call because you know the ins and outs of every bank code, trigger, and tripwire. So that is your standard for level 10 sales intelligence. Based on that, how would you rank your sales intelligence, as low, medium, or high? Are you bundling products and getting higher deal values? Are you optimizing the sales velocity equation? Remember the equation of tracking how many opportunities you have, what the average deal value is, what that close rate is, and then the length of time it takes you to close, right? Those are the 4 pieces of the sales velocity equation. Are you even tracking that to know what your sales intelligence really is? And then are you closing deals on that first call because you know the ins and outs of the bank code, triggers, and tripwires? All right, so we've got, looks like we have about 57% right now are saying low. Medium is at 39%. And only about 4% of the responses so far are polling high. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to end this poll, and I'm going to share the results.
Thank you, Stephanie. So as you look at the results, and thank you for answering honestly, you know, I mean, like, if you were a sales ninja, if you use this in an example, like, let's go back to martial arts. Every single time someone, you know, gives you a karate chop, you're able to block it like Danielson, wax on, wax off, paint the fence, up, down, right? Like anything that gets thrown at you, you're able to just nail it in the bullseye. And of course, that would be the ultimate mastery, right? That's where you want to get to in your business. And again, saving you time, energy, and money. So sales intelligence, you know, if you look at this as an indicator of this group right here, and we've got roughly 250 people live, plus the thousands of people that watch this on replay, as you really, you know, answer this for yourself, there's massive room to growth. And if you grow in this division, you're going to make more money. As you expand sales intelligence, it is inevitable that it rings the cash register over and over and over for you. Okay, so as you climb to the next level and say, hey, I want to get better, and I want to go from low to medium, and I want to go from medium to high. And when I'm at high, I want to go to like master's degrees of high to expertise. What is the impact, and how much financial ROI does this create for yourself? At the minimum, what you have access to is triple the revenue just simply by applying personality intelligence to sales intelligence. Okay, triple the revenue. Okay. So that starts to be really exciting. All right, let's move to the third intelligence. Okay, so when we went to week 2 in Masterclass, and we introduced you to now emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence, remember, is just how you have the ability to really connect to human beings. The other day I was going for a walk in my neighborhood. Like I said, I have a little 3-month-old baby, my wife and I, and we wanted to take the little guy for a walk in our stroller. Like, we're practicing being parents, and it was fun going down the neighborhood. And as we went down the neighborhood, you know, I saw a few signs in people's yards, and it was interesting because I started to read the signs, and you start to just even understand the code of the person who lives in that house. For example, there was a sign that says, "Don't share your air, wear a mask," you know, and they were like putting signs up in their yard about how everybody should wear a mask, and it's the law. Like here in Laguna Beach in Southern California, they're basically saying it's a law. And one person even got arrested because they refused to wear a mask in the store, right? So there's some crazy things that are happening. And I thought, you know, who would put that sign in their yard? Well, obviously, you know, a certain code would. And then I got down the street, and there was another sign in a few people's yards that says, "Choose to be kind." And I thought, I obviously know the code of who would put that sign in their yard. And so all of a sudden, emotional intelligence is going to create such an awareness inside of you that you as a human being can actually understand other people at their core. You can understand how to communicate to them powerfully. You can help to reduce any form of objections or debate or bickering or anything that would normally create resistance or friction in the relationship. You know how to just mitigate it. You know how to turn it into peace like that. You know how to make the flower go from shriveled up and dead to totally coming alive. You know how to optimize other human beings. You know how to help tap into their innate potential and to harvest that potential, because you know how to communicate to them in their core code. And so this emotional intelligence allows you to become one of the most amazing, kind, powerful, influential human beings there can possibly be. That's why Harvard did so many studies on it. And they actually ended up saying emotional intelligence is actually even more important than IQ, because of how important it is when you interact with people. And you remember from some of our beginning presentations in Masterclass where we said, remember, sales is not a numbers game. Sales is a people game. Life is a people game. Marriage is a people game. Parenting is a people game. And so people is the core of everything that we're experiencing here as a human race. And that's why so many people are struggling with the COVID and the lockdown and the isolation and the things that are happening, because there's a disconnect of people, right? So Stephanie, would you please share, what does a level 10 look like and sound like for emotional intelligence? And let's have you score yourself here.
Yes. So for emotional intelligence, level 10 means kindness is your currency and you are known for your compassion and empathy. You completely alter your communication style based on what's needed or appropriate for a given person or situation. You're all about what's best for others versus what's in it for you. Also, I just want to mention that there's a lot of fantastic comments that have been coming in the chat area. A lot of people are choosing, I think it's automatically set to panelists only. So if you'd like to share some of your fantastic insights that you're having during this time, you want to go to that little drop down in the chat area and choose panelists and attendees so that everyone can see what you are sharing. So there's just so many comments that we are seeing that others are not. So I just want to make sure that you realize that you can choose that if you would like. All right, so we have, and I suspect this would be the case, Sherry, we have a lot more people saying hi in this area. We've got about 48% of the people saying hi, 43% saying medium, and about 9% are saying low for this particular intelligence. So I'm going to end the polling here and share it real quick.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so this is great. Like if you remember when we did one of the polls where you put in your bank code as your primary bank code is blueprint, action, nurturing, and knowledge. And if you remember what those stats were, roughly 50% of you were nurturing. And you can do the math and that shows up here in the form of emotional intelligence. Nurturing, by default, you have an intuition that you've been able to develop to really understand people kind of intuitively, obviously. So you're pretty good at it, which is awesome. And some of you ranked yourself medium, and only a few of you put yourself low, and that's okay. I would look for the corresponding, where does nurturing fit in your bank code, right? Like if nurturing is in the second half, the third or fourth position, it's possible that emotional intelligence has been difficult for you to learn, and that people are actually difficult and maybe even annoying, and you're appreciating isolation because you don't have to talk to people anymore. But you kind of do have to talk to people, even if it's virtual through Zooms, right? Humans are not going away, at least not now. So when you look at this, if you remember, we introduced a word called trifecta. And the trifecta of these intelligences, when you leverage the power of the first three of personality, intelligence, understanding people to their core, if you leverage sales intelligence and knowing exactly how to communicate to them effectively in your sales and business perspective, and then if you add on the layer of emotional intelligence, making you like the most brilliant, magnetic, empathetic communicator on the planet, what could become possible in business for you? Okay, I want you to type that into the chat box. If you could harness and leverage the power of the trifecta, and if you could get your scores up into the high threshold across all three, come up with a word or two of what could become possible. Type that in the chat box right now. What could become possible if you could leverage and harness the first three intelligences to your favor? Okay, and I'm seeing empowered, superpowered, true connection, quantum success, anything, everything, infinity and beyond. connection, influence, satisfaction, harmony, unstoppable, elevate others, rocket sales, expansion, anything is possible. Okay, so you guys get the point. So now you can start to see that part of unleashing your infinite potential is leveraging these intelligences together. And, you know, consider that if you're optimized in one and not optimized in another, you're not going to maximize your results, right? You could have amazing emotional intelligence and people and relationship currency, and you look in your bank account and it's like broke, you're broke. And you're like, how is that possible? Like, I'm so good with people. I love people and people love me, but it doesn't show up in your bank account because you're not applying all of the intelligences at the same time. Okay. And this is what, again, the point of these intelligences are. Okay. So thank you. Let's move on to the fourth intelligence. So now when we shift to the right side of the screen and you're looking at those intelligences and you say, okay, the fourth one is artificial intelligence. And leveraging AI, you know, and if you remember, let me just help to remind you what artificial intelligence is. The AI that we've created, Codebreaker AI, was basically when we met with our AI developers, and part of our board of directors was the founder of IBM Watson. He was one of the lead master inventors of IBM Watson. His name is Neil Sahota. He's a board member with our company. And as we got together with our AI developers to create the world's first AI powered by Bank, it simultaneously became the world's first AI that had not just artificial intelligence, but it had artificial empathy. And some of you might say, what is artificial empathy? It is the ability for us to actually humanize artificial intelligence so that it actually understands the nature of a human being because of its understanding of a bank code. It's never been done before. And this is why the United Nations said, we want you, Sherry Tree from Codebreaker, to come speak at our UN conference in Geneva, Switzerland, to talk about the impact of what this AI can do for humanity. So if you look at artificial intelligence, when we developed this, the AI was basically the equivalent when we met with the AI developers of they wanted to basically put a USB key in my head and my heart, and they wanted to siphon every single piece of data and wisdom that I had with 20 years experience of the bank codes and harvest that into the form of an AI so that it was the equivalent of every single time you use it, you are able to access all of the infinite wisdom that I've had in 20 years with the AI. It's like taking me with you everywhere you go, putting me right on your mobile device. And every time you hit the AI decode button, you just rented Sherry Tree's brain space and heart space and 20 years of wisdom when you push that button. And the most fascinating thing, and they asked me, they said, Sherry, are you prepared for this one thing? And I said, what? They said, right now at this time, you are the world's #1 expert at bank. There is no one better than you in the world at bank. You are literally the world leader of bank. They said, the minute we develop the AI, you will no longer be #1. The AI, on the day that it is born, will become smarter than you were and ever are in bank. I was like, wow, that's deep. That's deep. That's the nature of artificial intelligence. It learns and trains itself to get smarter and wiser with more and more wisdom. And luckily, because empathy is built into the code of the AI, it's making it better and better, like moving you more and more towards the light, right? This is about optimizing humanity now. So cool, right? Okay, so artificial intelligence and your mastery of this intelligence is how would you leverage this? So Stephanie, let's talk about what does level 10 of artificial intelligence look like?
Yes, so it means you are a Codebreaker AI super user and have completely incorporated the tool into your life. You run every incoming and outgoing communication through the AI 100% of the time. You run voicemails and emails through the AI, and you've bankified your marketing messages to specific target audiences. So every incoming email, every outgoing email, every text message. You're using AI all the time. It's got to be up on your phone. It's up on your laptop. You are constantly taking that copy and figuring out what is the code of this copy so I can become better at communication. So are you low, medium, or high when it comes to artificial intelligence and code breaker AI? All right, so they're rolling in here. We got about 58% low. So I think with some acknowledgement that we aren't using Codebreaker AI quite yet. 32% medium, and about 9% are saying high on that artificial intelligence level. So I'm going to go ahead and end the poll, and I will share it quickly.
Okay, thank you, Stephanie. And so obviously, and here's what's great, like there's room for improvement. Like nobody's coming on here as like a Jedi master that says, I already know everything. Okay, even I have room for improvement. There's always levels of masteries, degrees of black belt, right? And so using the AI, and what's awesome is we're continuing to improve it every single day. Not only is the AI getting better and better, but the tools and the technology and the releases. Like if you guys stay attached to Codebreaker Technologies, you will stay attached to the latest, hottest, greatest releases you've ever seen. Okay. And this is stuff that's mind-blowing and designed to help you optimize the trifecta. Can the AI help you understand people better? Can it help you close more sales faster? Can it help you have more empathy by understanding the way that that communication piece was written? And the answer is yes, that's the point, right? So then we moved from artificial intelligence to business intelligence. And this is where my heart really wants to connect with you for a minute, because I've been in the entrepreneur space for more than 20 years. You know, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And when you think about what Rich Dad Poor Dad teaches in his sequel cash flow quadrant, he talks about those that are employees and self-employed trading time for dollars. And I was like, no, thank you. And how did the wealthy become wealthy versus the poor, the broken, the middle class? They have to build businesses. They have to have investments. They need money working for them. And that's what the path that I've been on trying to figure out. And I've failed forward many, many times. I've fallen on my face. I've made crazy dumb decisions along the way, and I've had to scrape myself off and, you know, get back up and keep moving forward. But what I've found along the way is that so many people, so many business owners and entrepreneurs just don't have business intelligence. They don't even know what it is. They don't know how to use it. They don't know how to make smart business decisions. You just kind of fly by the seat of your pants. You zig and you zag every single day, and you're just trying to like survive the gauntlet. You know, if you remember the movie River Wild with Meryl Streep, and she's trying to like run the gauntlet, which was like terrifying whitewater in the movie. And all you're trying to do is survive. And then in running the gauntlet, it's like, oh, by the way, let's add a few other layers of drama to this video game life experience that you're in. And let's throw COVID-19 in the middle of everything that you're doing. And let's basically, you know, disrupt everything that you're doing. Let's shut down businesses. Let's kill the economy. Let's stop people from, you know, getting out there and networking and attending events and doing all the things that you were used to doing to build your business. And that's now added on top of it. And when you look at the impact of this, and you've heard us talk about it as we've gone through Masterclass, and that's why we built Masterclass, was as a result of COVID disrupting so much that we realized everyone's out there scrambling for cover right now, just to like make sure that everything that you've built your entire life doesn't get collapsed away in a matter of 6 months of this crazy world economy. You know, you look at someone like Airbnb, and one of the owners of Airbnb said it took us 12 years to basically have everything unraveled that we built 12 years in a matter of 6 months, unraveled, right? And businesses are dropping like flies. And you know that, like, you know the impact of this. It might be happening to you personally. It might be happening to people in your world or your environment. And so business intelligence is, how do you make the best decisions? How do you let data drive the decisions? How do you understand how the bank codes are impacting every single move you make? So Stephanie, what is level 10 business intelligence? And then let's do the poll.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and launch the poll. And I'm going to tell you level 10 is bank code data drives your entire business, including all of your marketing decisions and sales strategies. You know exactly who your customer avatar is, and you know your best buyer. You know the bank codes of every single person in your network, and you code everyone. So is your customer avatar, what is their bank code? If you don't know that's a piece of business intelligence that is missing for you. Do you know how many people in your funnel and what codes they are in that funnel? Are you attracting a certain percentage of nurturers versus action versus knowledge based on a marketing piece that went out into the world? That's the kind of data that we start to track that can help us make decisions about what we're offering, how we're offering it, what we might want to do differently. So business intelligence, is it low? Is it medium? Or is it high? Okay, so it looks like right now we're tracking about 65% are saying low, 31% are saying medium, and about 5% are saying high right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll and I will share it. There you go.
Thank you, Stephanie. Okay, great. And most of you, admittedly, and this is kind of like sometimes almost a byproduct of your code. The higher the nurturing and the higher the action, the lower your B and the K pieces of you are. And it shows up in the form of you've been flying by the seat of your pants, following your heart, but you're kind of a mess behind the scenes in a lot of different areas. And again, that you're not optimized, right? And so the key is, what would it look like? And again, I'm doing these exercises because I want you to imagine if you could optimize yourself in each one of these areas, what would that do to drive your results, right? And understanding this would allow you to laser focus everything, your marketing campaigns, your emails, your conversations, who you're talking to in the first place, what associations you even belong to. All of it can be revealed as you really get this one dialed in. Okay, so thank you for that. Now, the last and final piece of the 6 intelligences is spiritual intelligence. And it's interesting because last year at our conference, we have an annual conference called BANKCODE. BANKCODE stands for the Bank International Convention. And this is like our entire marketplace coming together, everything from our coaches, our trainers, our customers, our vendor partners, and the people who believe in what we're doing in bank. We come together for an annual conference. And last year at our conference, we announced what these 6 intelligences were. And as we talked about the 6th and final intelligence, Esther was the keynote speaker, and you got to see her speak last week on the 6th intelligence. And it was interesting because there was almost like a little murmur throughout the entire audience of, I can't believe they're going there. And oh my gosh, they're going there. Like, how amazing to be a part of a company and a community that actually addresses spiritual intelligence and emotional intelligence in our business conference, and yeah, we're not ashamed of it. Matter of fact, we believe that strengthens us to just put it out there and to declare it. And so you remember that there's 4 levels of wealth, and money is the first level. Now, that's really important to understand for 2 reasons. Number one, money is a level, and you can't, especially the higher the nurturing, you can't just dismiss money and be like, oh, I want to skip that one and I just want to advance to the next level, which is relationships. I'm really good at relationships, but I'm really bad at money. And if you think of this like a video game, remember, you actually can't master the 2nd level if you didn't master the 1st. Okay, so you do need to make money. That's the currency that drives economies. Okay, let's just be real. That's level 1 mastery. And then level 2, of course, is relationship currency. You can't just have all the money in the world, Uncle Scrooge, and be a totally mean, rude person. You'll fail level 2, which is relationship. Okay, that's the relationship currencies. Some of you are really good at that, but you're really terrible at the 1st level. Imagine being good at both. The 3rd level of wealth was knowledge, which is basically AKA wisdom. And wisdom is something that's really amazing. I had a conversation with the CEO yesterday, an incredible guy. He's a PhD by background, very successful working with the top Fortune 500 companies. He's completely mesmerized by bank and wants to partner and align with us. And here's what he said in our conversation. He said, Sherry, wisdom, knowledge, right? Wisdom. He says, Google might have infinite access to content, but only human beings can share wisdom. And I was like, well, that's deep. And what mastery of that level of wealth, if you really understand it, is that you become so good at these principles, at what you're designed and destined to do, that you automatically go into a form of a sage, where you now are sharing those wisdoms with the world. And that is a form of wealth. Okay, because you're not just earning credits for this life, you're earning your karma credits for the next life. Okay, if you believe in that. And you're witnessing me doing this. Like, part of me mastering level 3 of wealth is sharing the wisdoms of the bank codes. And I am bound and determined that I'm not dying until the world knows bank. I'm just not going to do it. Okay. God already knows that. You can't take me out until I'm done accomplishing what I'm here for, which is to transfer the codes to all of humanity. Because when I'm gone and Sherry Tree like turns into ashes, what did I leave as my legacy? If I could leave the code for humanity, like that's amazing, right? And so that's level 3. And then level 4, of course, is the spiritual level on top of it. It is being 100% spiritually aligned with all things that you were created for, and being able to step into that self-actualization, all of it. Okay. Those were the 4 levels of wealth. So that's a really important piece, because if you are not aligned with your divine purpose, with why you're here, and you just have like a random business that you got sucked into and it doesn't put you on your purpose, you're going to feel an agitation in your soul that says, you know what, like, I'm busy every day, I'm hustling and grinding, but I'm not happy, and my soul is not happy. Whether you're making money or not, there's something that the part of priceless that's happiness is the part that money cannot cure. Money does buy happiness, but money does not cure the soul level of happiness, for making sure that you are optimized in your divine way, and that you are on the path that you are predestined to be, to become everything that you are able to be in this lifetime, and to be able to step into it with your power, to be planted on 2 feet, solid on the ground, with absolute certainty that you are living the life that you came here to live, and to magnify everything that you're destined to be. And by the way, that also means that you have access to money, to relationships, and to wisdom. Okay. So Stephanie, let's look at what level 10 looks like for spiritual intelligence, and then let's do the poll.
Okay, so you've spent a lot of time contemplating the reason for your existence. You can clearly define the purpose for your life, and you've built a people over profits business. You always find meaning and purpose in your everyday experiences, and you let your wisdom and compassion influence your thoughts, speech, and actions. So you are super clear about why you're here, your purpose, and it is reflected in your life, in your business, in the way you interact with every single person that you meet, especially through your business. People over profits. Okay, so we have kind of a 50-50 split between medium and high. We got 44% high, 43% medium, and about 13% are saying low spiritual intelligence. So I'll go ahead and end the poll and share the results.
Thank you, Stephanie. It's so great. Again, you know, there's no coincidences. When you look at half of this group being high nurturing, and then you see high scores in emotional intelligence and spiritual intelligence, connect the dots. Some people, some codes have advantages in certain intelligences, while other codes have advantages in other intelligences, right? And so if you are totally on your divine purpose, amazing. What we are here to do as a company, by hopefully continuing the journey, if you said launch and you said, I want to continue the journey, it's that we want everything who we are at the bank system with our 6 intelligences to speed you up on your way and to make your life and journey even easier with less and less friction, so that you can carry the torch of your legacy into the world and become unstoppable at greater and greater impact. That's what bank will do. And for those of you that say, you know what, I haven't quite tuned it in, like I'm maybe close, but like something's missing, then hopefully we can help you find the missing link. Because if you can find that missing link and then you can leverage these 6 intelligences, well, again, you suddenly start to build the life and the legacy that you're here to do. And for those of you that said, I'm really, really low, chances are you have lower nurturing and action in your bank codes. Not always, but those are the tendencies. And it may be that you need to like completely get connected to this part of you that you've been denying or pushing down and suppressing. And I can tell you that if you're willing to go there, and it might feel scary, but if you're willing to go there and you're willing to get a little bit vulnerable and you're willing to let us help you, that you might be able to access a part of you that you didn't even know how to do. And if you could do that, the question is, who could you become? What's possible? Okay. And this is really exciting. So Stephanie, thank you for coming out here and conducting and doing those polls. This was a fun process, and hopefully this created some amazing self-awareness with you that this isn't just like some, you know, silly little class lectures that you're like, okay, that was an interesting webinar. What's for dinner? You know, this is like major impactful stuff. Okay. And that means that there's a next level. So everything that we built inside the bank intelligences is designed to help you work smarter, not harder. Look, at the end of the day, chances are you work very hard. Like, let's just be honest. If you took on the badge and the pledge of being an entrepreneur, which stands for risk taker, and it stands for someone who's willing to assume risk in exchange for gain, and you're out there carving your own path, even if it's not for money, if you're purpose driven over profit driven, then you work really hard. But what if you could work smarter and just make the path easier? It's kind of like weeding out the thorns and just making it so that you can march along your path to accomplish what you're here to do. Okay. And I want you to type into the chat box, work smarter, if you're like, yep, that's the pledge I want to make going forward. I don't want to work harder, because you probably already work hard enough, but you want to work smarter. Type that in the chat box. Okay. Type that in the chat box. And you guys are blowing up the chat box with work harder, not smarter. Okay, so now that you've done that, I want to go ahead and basically share the next level. Okay, so this next level is going to move those of you that say, I want to work smarter. What's the next level for me? How do I do this? You know, we don't want to just leave you hanging and be like, that concludes our masterclass, everyone. Good night. Okay. Because that just wouldn't be fair, and that wouldn't allow us to live our purpose. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again, and let's do the next piece. Okay. So those of you that say, I want to work smarter, like sort of a no-brainer, then I want to introduce you to our wheel here, the Bank 6 intelligences, and what we call our Bank iOS, our intelligence operating system. Okay. We built an assessment, and this is really awesome. This is actually built by the lead people at San Francisco State University, who got together and partnered up with our company to say, let's build an assessment and let's see if we can actually assess, okay, and create real scores with real meaning around it. And so as you're looking at this, and we kind of just did a mock of this, kind of a light version of that, and taking you through the 6s, what I want you to understand is that each one of you has a score, and there's a scale of 1 to 10. And our Bank iOS assessment has the scale breakdown. Like today, we shared with you what an optimized level 10 looks like. Okay. And so let's pretend that you're scoring yourself and you give yourself a 5 there. And on sales intelligence, let's say you're one of the super salespeople, you can sell ice to an Eskimo, and you're an 8. And let's say in emotional intelligence, you know, you're maybe a 5. Your numbers could be inverse, whatever. These are just examples. In artificial intelligence, let's pretend you're a 7 and you use it all the time. In business intelligence, let's say that that's a little bit lower, it's a 4. And in spiritual intelligence, let's say that that number was a 7. Okay. This is just an example, but if you look at this, and obviously if we use the analogy of, if this was a wheel, are you going to have a smooth ride or a bumpy ride? And the answer is obvious. You're going to have a really bumpy ride. Okay. And it's not going to be that fun. And yet that is the ride you're on right now. So if you're not experiencing massive, velocity of success in life in all of these dimensions, chances are you have friction, you have drag that's hanging on you because you're not optimized in each of these areas. So what we want to do for those of you that say, hey, I want to go to the next level, I don't want a bumpy ride anymore, like that actually gives me a headache and it makes me tired every single day and it makes me feel worn out. Then what we want to do is we want to continue our relationship with you, and we want to take you to where we can help you optimize in every single area of your 6 intelligences. Where all of the success, the money, and the levels of wealth lay is when you get to levels 8, 9, and 10 in each of these dimensions. Okay, all of them. You can't be totally out of whack in one and optimized in the others and have the ideal scenario. Okay. So if you can get to levels 8, 9, and 10, and that's the journey and the destination that you want to go down, I want you to type into the chat box. Like if you had to go for an overall score in each of these dimensions, and you know that optimized success happens at levels 8, 9, and 10. And that's where you start making hundreds of thousands of dollars or even millions of dollars. Relationships are easy. Life is easy, happy relationships, your marriage, your children, like you're doing good, you're creating impact. Put the score that you're going to go for. Okay. Put the score that you're going to go for. And anything below 8 is like, you didn't measure up to everything that you could have. And that's okay, because some people settle. Remember, I said some of you are going to part ways with us at the end of Masterclass 4 today. And you're going to say, thank you. I learned a lot. Appreciate you guys. Good luck. Okay. And that's it. But others of you are going to say, no, this is not where my journey ends. This is where my journey begins. Moving you to levels 8, 9, and 10 is not going to be easy. This isn't like a cakewalk. It does require work. It does require commitment. It does require focus. It does require stepping up and really moving into your power. It does require facing fear. It does require sometimes changing habits. But again, if you're the person that's committed to optimizing yourself because of what those results will yield for you in your life and your family, then magical things can become possible. Okay. So we built this assessment to go with our coaching program, our Codebreaker coaching program. And I'm going to walk you through what the Codebreaker coaching program entails. And then I want to be able to open it up for questions and comments and stuff. And actually, we're going to do some Q&A, and we're going to treat this like a panel. And you're going to tap into the wisdoms of Esther and Stephanie and Mamie and myself and be able to ask us any of those types of questions. So actually, let me put this back up here. I'm going to exit my screen here. And let's shift into the next piece of today's masterclass. We've got 30 minutes left. So we're going to carve out, a good 10 minutes for open Q&A time. 10 to 15 minutes, we're going to take Q&A time. And this is where we want you guys to ask us anything. I like to say when I talk to our internal community of our certified coaches and trainers, ask the Oracle anything. And in this case, I'm the Oracle for bank. And ask the panel. So Stephanie and Mamie, if you'll help to moderate, what we need you to do is in the Q&A section, can you give instructions with how they ask questions so it's not in the chat box, but it actually goes into the Q&A section?
So on the bottom of your Zoom window, if you take your cursor and hold it over the bottom, the menu pops up and there is a Q&A button. So if you open up that Q&A button, you can ask a question, and we will take questions as we see them pop up. So feel free to type something in.
And if
Also-
you want to ask someone specifically, like if you say this question is for Stephanie, and this question is for Mamie, or this question is for Esther, or this question is for Sherry, put our name in your question so that we know who to pass that to. Otherwise, Stephanie will pass it randomly.
Okay, so we see some questions coming in. Okay, so a question from Sandra. She says, how much do I have to change my thinking to be good at this?
Who are you directing that to, Stephanie? You can moderate this.
Well, let's see, Sandra, how much do I have to change my thinking to be good at this? Mamie, would you like to answer that question? That's a mindset question.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
You're right, Stephanie. It is a mindset. It is a mindset. It's all about where you're at and where you want to go. And it's our minds that actually stop us from making those decisions to move on. So if we can get out of our mindset, we can get more emotionally intelligent. We can build up our spiritual intelligence. It comes faster as you practice. And the difference between you and Sherry, me, Esther, and Stephanie, and some of the other people who've been around, we've had a longer time to practice. And that has made the biggest difference for us. Thanks, Stephanie.
Thanks, Mamie. James says, how can I assess someone on a 5-minute appointment call? So I can take this one. So if you have, first of all, I highly suggest that you work BankPass into your appointment setting process, whatever that looks like. So if you have, I have Calendly. Okay, so if someone wants to set up a time to chat with me, I send them a link where they can get on my schedule. And there is a required question when they schedule with me to crack their bank code and to tell me what it is. I provide the link they can go to. I tell them it takes less than 90 seconds, and that's going to help me serve them on our call together. And people fill it out all the time. So in that case, before I even pick up the phone, I know what their bank code is. So there's no question. If for some reason I'm on the call with somebody and I don't know what their bank code is, and it's a quick call, I'm going to do my best to listen to how they are asking questions. What type of questions are they asking? What energy level are they asking those questions? And because I've been trained in bank and I've been doing this for 5 years now, I can assess fairly quickly what I think their bank code might be. And we call that skill speed coding. So speed coding is something we teach people, but it's also something you can develop over time with practice, because this is a language. So hopefully, James, that gives you some answers for now anyway. And then we have Barbara is asking, becoming a coach with bank, can you make money while teaching and mentoring? So Sherry, do you want to take that one?
Sure. So one of the things that we're looking for is coaches, people who want to actually teach these intelligences to their clients, right? And you can imagine how we can help people optimize their business, maximize their results. And what I love about people who become coaches with us is they actually, get to master the program while they're teaching it to other people. And can they make money? Of course. Everything that we do is profit driven and purpose driven, because the two go hand in hand. You can't be purpose driven and have no profits, because it takes money to create the change that you want to see in the world. Okay. So the answer is absolutely yes. And you can make anything from a couple $1,000s extra a month to 5 figures a month by being one of our Codebreaker coaches. And we're going to, before we end this, I'm actually going to ask those of you that are interested in becoming a coach, because we're looking for more. And so we'll find out if there's a good fit and if you qualify, but this could be something really exciting that adds more money and helps to accelerate your financial goals to get you faster towards the destination you want to go.
All right, this question is for Esther. How do you encourage someone to explore their spirituality when they say they do not need anything beyond scientific facts?
That's always interesting. The thing is, scientists work on solutions on problems. And so when there's a problem, they're tapped in, how can I solve this? And that is actually a spiritual connection to the why and the how do we solve this problem. The scientific facts come after that there is a spiritual connection or a why or an insight on how to solve a problem. It's not that in the scientific facts a problem is or there is a problem that you see the solution. The facts come after the spiritual insights, and a lot of people are blocked from it because they don't want to share emotions. The higher the knowledge, the lower the nurturing. They don't want to share emotions. They think it's all hoo-hoo. And so how you can explore, like, what if you have a scientific solution for a problem? Who is going to help you to bring this to the world? And who are the people you want to connect with who can actually share passionate and share your science and your, you know, terrific brain facts with the world? Because you can be a scientist and figure out things all day long, but if you don't bring it to the market and you don't connect with people, then nobody will ever sell it or use it. So you want to balance. All six has to be balanced in life to become really successful. And that's why a lot of knowledge people keep studying and keep inventing, but they don't get it out there. So they just stuck with it with themselves. And that's not how you leave an impact or leave a legacy. So if he really is intrigued by making a difference or bring it to the market because he found something genius, then he has to tap into the more emotional part and the spiritual part to get connected to the why and present the solution, because people need to know why first before they're even interested in scientific facts. Only other case are interested in scientific facts, but they still need to know the problem and the why before you can connect those dots. So that is just a short version, but that's always an interesting conversation for sure.
Awesome. So then we have a question from Melanie. How do you handle someone that refuses to do the cards? I'm in an MLM company. Do you go for the sale or walk away? Amy, would you like to answer that?
Hey, Stephanie, I'm in the middle of answering
Okay,
somebody else's
you're
question.
answering some other questions. No problem. I'll answer it. So how do you handle someone who refuses to do the cards? So number one, that doesn't happen. Like I've had two people that have hesitated using the cards, and it was in a group situation where there were several of us kind of doing it all together. And I already knew their code when they hesitated. I didn't even need to have them shuffle the cards because the personality type that is the most likely to resist is the knowledge type. But I have been doing this for 5 years. I've cracked over 1,200 codes with my bank pass, but I can't even tell you how many in person, probably even more than that in person. And everyone says yes. It is important that you ask in the right way. And we teach you how to do that. We actually have a script that is what we call power scripted, which means it speaks to all 4 personality types. So the invitation to ask them to crack their code with the cards already is the type of language that's going to get everyone interested. There's going to be a piece in there that piques the interest of every single personality. So number one, I would just say your worry about people saying no to cracking their code is a much bigger worry in your head than it is in reality. And if they say no, then you know they're probably a knowledge type or maybe a blueprint, right? Those are the 2 personality types that are the least likely to, or the most skeptical, I should say. They absolutely crack their codes. I've had lots of them do it, but they have a skepticism to them. So you just need to know how to present it to those codes so that they go ahead and follow through. All right. So then Deborah asked, if the person does the bank test, then you went to the text and they sent you and decoded it. Okay. So they cracked their code and then they sent you a text and they end up being different codes. How does that work? Esther, you want to take that?
Yeah, I'm happy to. So when they crack their code, most of the time that is actually their code because there's no communication attached to it in the sense of promoting or marketing. Depending on when you send out an email to get some people to move, either get an appointment or you're marketing your product, then you're more likely to change your code. I see sometimes people, I code them, they show their code, and then I get an email, it's totally different. So sometimes they also have an assistant to write an email, or it's just they're in the brain space, or they need a solution for a problem, and it requires a certain email and a certain response. So that's why you always want to use the AI. So you know their bank code, but maybe they are under stress code and now they type based on their stress level, or maybe they're working on a problem that has to be solved and they need just facts, right? So you always want to use the AI. Knowing the code is one, but in communication, people can shift based on their needs, especially when they're under stress.
Awesome. All right. So then we have from Cindy Sweet. Do you teach us how to handle people that are naturally resistant to change because they are blueprint in knowledge and they see suggestions, no matter how gently asked, as attacking or impeding their blueprint or putting them in a box? Sherry, would you like to answer that question?
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. You know, the key, remember, if you put the lens on, and Mamie, do you have your colored glasses in front of you? One of the things that we teach, there you go. So Mamie, you put on your green ones and Stephanie has on our blue ones, right? So the key is to put on the lens of that other person and to understand the minute you put it on, it's like a superpower. So if Stephanie has the blueprint one on and she can understand and empathize through the lens of a blueprint, and she realizes what a blueprint needs to be communicated to, right? They are risk averse. They're absolutely terrified of their budget and overspending. They feel like the world is almost against them and they're preparing for the worst case scenario. They automatically go to worst case scenario almost every single time because they're trying to shore up against the risk. So if you understand that about them, you can communicate to them in a way that eases them off the edge and has them actually relax and feel safe. Okay. The knowledge personality type, as you look at Mamie's, screen, and she's got green lenses on. What you need to understand innately about the knowledge personality type is they must absolutely be right. And one of the things I teach, if you go deeper into our training, and there's a couple ways to get access to our training. One is online, where we have everything inside a virtual vault called the Bank Vault. And you can take online courses and learn more about this. Some of you are asking, how do I learn speed coding, or how do I learn power scripting? All of it's inside the vault. We also have signature series classes that our certified trainers around the world are licensed to teach. And you can go to that when the world goes back. You can take those classes and you can go interact live, or even take it live virtually. But the point is, when I talk about the knowledge personality type, from when they're very young children and put in school, they're identified as being special. And they're special because their brains are smarter than the average person. They get marked with a high IQ. They get pulled out of their social groups and put into special incubation classes for smart people. Well, what automatically happens is they get removed from their social structures, so they become socially awkward. Their peers, the other codes, sort of resent them because they're smarter, and school is all about how smart you are and what grades you got. So there's a little bit of resentment, which is where the bullying begins. And this person's self-esteem is no longer based on their social interaction with the people. It's based on how smart they are, how much they know. For example, a K can take a test, and if they missed one question, there's been kids who have gone to the edge of suicide for missing one single question on a test. Versus like an action personality type, if they only miss one on a test, they're like celebrating and high-fiving. Holy cow, I can't believe I got that good, right? And you look at it from totally different perspectives. And so the K person's self-esteem is all about they need to be right. And as they take that into their adult life, they literally cannot be wrong, which means they will debate and defend to the death, even against their own spouse or children. Okay, so if you understand that, you have to learn, again, how do you talk that person off the ledge, and how do you tee up the conversation so that you create an environment where they can't be wrong? And again, it requires them to also develop emotional intelligence, and some people aren't. And this is where with low emotional intelligence, the dark side of all the bank codes. Remember, the dark side of a blueprint who is like chick, 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 inside the box. The dark side of that person is the B can stand for biatch, bossy, like a bee. They sting like a bee. They slap you and it hurts. Okay. And then the action, the dark side of the action, the person who has to be the best in everything with low emotional intelligence, they're like a total jerk. They're like an arrogant prick, you know, an a-hole, right? And they're the people that you don't want to be around. And then you take the dark side of the nurturing person, who's normally this like totally nice, kind, loving, sweet person, and you put the dark side of the nurturing person on, and they become really nasty or needy and whiny. Okay. And sometimes even revengeful, because if you hurt them or someone they care about, they're going to come after you. And then the dark side of the knowledge is they become very cynical, very know-it-all. And like I said, they will debate you to the death. So the more you understand bank, and that's why like everything that we're creating here in bank is to take you through levels of awareness, and then levels of experience, and then levels of mastery. And hopefully that helps to answer your question, that you can learn to diffuse any of these types of conversations. You can learn to optimize all of your relationships. And at the end of the day, it's kind of like, you got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. You got to know when to walk away. You got to know when to run. And for me, it's when they have low emotional intelligence. And I don't care what your code is. If you are a jerk in life and you are not kind to people and you don't have emotional intelligence, I don't care what your code is. You're not part of our tribe. And no, thank you. Okay. And so have a boundary and have some self-respect, and you don't have to be rude or mean. You can just walk away, and that's okay. If you're married to that person, there's different challenges. But I can say that, you know, time to move on.
So Sherry, with that, we have a lot of questions, but do you want to answer them at the end or after?
Well, actually, what would be great, because you guys do have lots of questions, and they're coming in at like lots of them, which I love. And what that tells me, really, I'm honored to see the amount of questions that you have coming in, and my heart wants to answer all of them. Now, I'll make a deal with you. Tomorrow we have a webinar. We're going to do a follow-up webinar tomorrow. That's like a Q&A style webinar. We've hosted them every week, Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific. And tomorrow we're going to answer questions. And if you still have outstanding questions that you want or need answered, let us do our best to help answer them. You know, the point is, our community is very compassionate. We're very kind. And we'd love to help you get the support. You are also invited here potentially by one of our amazing tribe members. And what that means is we have a network of certified coaches and certified and licensed trainers all over the world who have extended the invitation of Masterclass to you. Somehow you got access to a link that allowed you to register for this class at no cost, and to give you access to our $1 trial, etc. And that person is prepared to answer your questions. So what I would say is, you can come join us tomorrow on our webinar and ask questions. You can also get back to the person, the referral source, one of our coaches and trainers who are here to support you. This is like having a built-in mentor to help guide you. And so, out of respect for time, and since we want to wrap this call respectfully at the bottom of the hour, what I'd like to do next is show those of you who say, I want the journey to continue. And by the way, go ahead and type continue. Like, if you love what you hear, if you want to optimize yourself in these 6 areas, type the word continue in the chat box and say, you know, I don't want to part ways, you know, like, I want to keep going with you guys. And a lot of you say continue. Okay, so let me share my screen, and I'm going to simply share with you how to continue. And for those of you that say this is a good fit, awesome. There's a place for everyone in our ecosystem. You know, it's kind of like no person left behind. So let's find the solution that works. So let me share my screen, and I'll share with you what those next steps are. Okay. So you say, I want to continue, which means I want to optimize my business. I want to maximize my results. And hold on. I have to shrink. There you go. I had my Q&A tab open there. So this is you. You want more results. Okay, so let me just walk you through this sequentially. Many of you took advantage of our $1 trial. This is a last and final call. If you did not activate the $1 subscription, this is your last chance You have to do that by going back to the Masterclass registration page, opting back in. And on that second page, you have access to that $1 trial. It will require you to put in your credit card, and that activates our medium tier subscription, which gives you access to our Bank Pass and our Codebreaker AI. Okay. That also includes the Google Chrome extension where you can go onto LinkedIn, click one button and decode anybody, click a second button and import all that data into the CRM system that's included with that service. And all of that is available. Now, at the end of a month, okay, I say 30 days, but it's really a month. So let me be specific. When the month, like if you registered for this on the 6th, when Masterclass started of August, on September 6th, you will be billed $59 for this subscription. Okay. It converts to our normal full paid subscription. So we gave you a month of access to these tools for $1, and you have a choice now. At the end of Masterclass, if you say, hey, want to part ways, you can cancel your subscription. You simply log in, cancel your subscription, and we won't bill you on your billing date. Okay. And that's okay. What happens is automatically your access would be terminated. Your links will no longer work. You won't be able to log into the virtual office that has all of that. And that's it. You know, we just say, thank you for playing. Hopefully you had a little bit of fun and got a great awareness, like I said. And for those of you that say, heck no, I want to continue, then of course, you know, ultimately here's what you have access to. We have 3 subscriptions, okay, kind of like good, better, best. On the left-hand side, you can see Codebreaker Connect, and that is just our Bank Pass and BCRM. That's a downgrade from what you have access to right now. So for $29, less than $1 a day, you can crack unlimited codes with Bank Pass, sending people a link, cracking their codes, collecting that data, putting them into our CRM system that you have access to, unlimited amounts of codes for $1 a day, basically $29 a month. Okay. That's called Codebreaker Connect. For those of you that say, I don't want the full $59 subscription, I want to downgrade, you can do that. Just contact customer support. You can downgrade if you wish. Okay. And one fast way to do it is cancel your $1 subscription and sign up for the $29 subscription. Okay. Codebreaker Discover, the middle one, the red one, is the one that you already have right now. So your $1 trial converts to this, and that means you have Bank Pass, unlimited code cracks, the CRM system, Codebreaker AI, and the Google Chrome extension. Basically, for an extra $1 a day, you get to use all of the AI tools. And when you think about it, like, how much time does that save you? And is that worth an extra $1 a day? So this program's like a $2 a day program, giving you access to these tools. No brainer. And then those of you who say, hey, I actually want the next level up, our most popular package is Codebreaker Explore, which is our $99 a month plan. So basically for another $40 a month, you get to unlock the Bank Vault. The Bank Vault is like unlocking all of our wisdom online, all of our courses and training and modules and videos and audios and all of those types of things. If you want to train yourself and log in every single day, we want our clients to spend 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes a day in a perfect world. If you want to optimize yourself inside the Bank Vault, studying and learning and applying. It's got all of the tools, the tracking, everything inside of there. And let me actually show you what's inside Bank Vault. Like, it's a lot, but we've broken it down into bite-sized pieces. So number 1, this doesn't need to overwhelm you. Number 2, this is over $10,000 worth of online courses that you get for $99 a month. All of our subscriptions are month to month, which means you can cancel it at any time. There's no strings attached. Okay. We stand behind every single piece of content that we create. We take it very, very seriously, and your money is very hard earned. And we want to respect every single dollar that you invest into you and into us. Okay. So you have the choice. You can upgrade to the $99 subscription, Codebreaker Explore. You can stay exactly where you're at the $59, or you can downgrade, or of course, cancel. It's whatever you want to do. Stephanie, did we have a quick poll question? I think we created a poll question. And this helps me get a pulse of where you guys are at. So let's go ahead and do the poll. And the poll is related to, let me go back here, related to the subscription. Okay. So Stephanie, you want to read the question here?
Yeah, so for the subscription that you currently have, for those of you who are on the $1 or who wants to sign, you can actually sign up tonight still for the $1 subscription. You have until August 31st. Do you plan to keep it and find more prospects and close more sales with it? Do you plan to cancel it, or do you plan to upgrade to the $99 a month and start to master the language of bank?
And go ahead and just be honest, guys. There's no shame, and it's okay. Like if you say cancel it, great. I respect you. If you say I want to keep it, awesome. And if you say I want to upgrade, perfect. Like no brainer. You know, you get out of it what you put into it. Okay. This isn't something that you want to subscribe to and then never think about again. Of course, nobody wants to pay for stuff, not even Netflix if you don't ever watch your TV. But if you do feel like you have any inclination in wanting to use this and you value time and you say, I want to save myself and conserve time, energy, and money, then again, this stuff becomes a total no-brainer. Okay. So perfect. You can end the poll. That was just for my own curiosity, and great. We want to continue to maintain value, and our company is always going to continue investing in the technology and your experience to make it better and better and better. Okay. I got to exit out of this. Somehow the polls get stuck on my page. Okay. So that was this. Okay. And inside the bank vault, you're going to love it. And again, you can activate this subscription level, and then you can decide if you want to downgrade to lower levels and you don't want access to any of the training or the ongoing content that we add, no problem. Now, for those of you that say, hey, I want the next level, and go ahead and type next level. Like if you're ready for next level, I love this quote from Tony Robbins. He says, the secret to an extraordinary life is to demand more from yourself than anyone else could possibly expect. Raise your standards. Okay. So for those of you that say, I want the next level, you want an extraordinary life, like you're ready to bring it on. Okay. Then what we have is a very special offer. And that offer is to participate in coaching. Now, our coaching program is very unique. We are the only ones in the world with this style of coaching. First of all, coaching is taking a player where they can't take themselves. So this is about helping to hold you accountable to take you to a level that you've never been. I love this quote. I absolutely believe that people, unless coached, never reach their maximum potential. I completely agree. I'm someone who has invested extensively into coaching and personal development. Champions don't show up to get everything they want. They show up to give everything they have. And this is you. If this is your standard of you want that championship style life, you know, and you have that commitment, then you're going to give. And when you give, you're going to get. The quality of a person's life is in direct proportion to their commitment to excellence, regardless of their chosen field or endeavor. The more you get optimized in the 6 banks intelligences, the better you're going to become at whatever your vocation is. So our Codebreaker coaching, this is where you're going to get access to the bank iOS, the intelligence operating system. You get access to the assessment that we created, and you're going to take that assessment before and after so that you can physically see the progress that you've done during the coaching circuit. Okay. We have 90-day coaching circuits. You get access to Bank Vault. It does require your $99 subscription to go with the coaching program. So when you invest in coaching, it will also require you to activate the $99 subscription. You can always downgrade when you're done with coaching if you wish, but you do need access to it because it goes in conjunction with. You get live coaching sessions facilitated by our certified coaches. You get the Bank Pass and Codebreaker AI as part of your subscription. So you're going to use that. We're going to teach you how to apply it. And of course, the mentorship and accountability that you need to really succeed. The assessment itself is priceless because this has a real scoring. Now, in this masterclass, we allowed you to score yourself on low, medium, and high. In the actual assessment, there's the point value that will allow you to create the distinctions between 1 and 10 so that you can, with clarity, choose the right number. And then we're going to show you how to move that needle in all 6 of the dimensions. It's very, very powerful. You're also going to get a map. Every single course comes with a map, and the map is your massive action plan. And you get a massive action plan, which is a workbook with specific activities and strategies built in to optimize yourself towards that level 10 in each one of the 6 intelligences. So for those of you that say, hey, I don't want to just go wing it and take the masterclass and then go figure it out by myself. I actually would like structured implementation, accountability, and all of that. Then the coaching program was designed for that. So our offer for one 90-day circuit, which means you're going to immerse yourself for 90 days. And that's coming up starting even as early as next week. And coaching sessions will start to stack out from here, depending on the coach that you're taking it from. $1,499 is the one-time investment for 90 days of coaching, plus your $99 a month subscription, which is paying for all of the tech tools and the bank vault access. Now, you're going to get 6 specific dedicated coaching sessions on each one intelligence, six sessions, 6 intelligences. Plus you have accountability calls and Q&A calls that go with it, so that you can feel like you're getting maximum value, maximum understanding, maximum implementation with you and your coach and the group that you coach with. Every coaching group is limited to 20 people, so that we can, like here we have hundreds of people. On the coaching sessions, we max it out at 20 so that we give the one-on-one experience. The coaching package also includes one-on-one sessions with your coach. That way you get personal attention, not just group attention in each of these sessions, okay? Again, the investment, $14.99 for one 90-day circuit and $99 a month. Now, there are a lot of our clients that say 90 days is awesome and I want more, okay? So we actually built out the pro circuit, which is access to a full year of coaching. And the more you buy, the less it costs, okay? And of course, the idea is the more results you get. Now, what's awesome is the first circuit is $1,499. If you buy 2 circuits, 2 90-day circuits, and you can take them back to back, or you can stagger it. Let's say you want to take a few months off and then join it when the next circuit opens up. You can do that. It's $24.99. You save yourself a nice little chunk of money, and you get 2 90-day increments of accountability, coaching, and everything. The topic stays the same, but the experience completely changes. Number one, you've grown and your points have escalated. Our students claim that they increased each one of their dimensions between 1 and 3 points in just a 90-day circuit. Okay, so if you can imagine, if you were a level 4 going up to 5, 6, or 7 in a 90-day circuit, what does that do? And then for those of you that say, I want the whole enchilada, it's basically a $5,000 investment, $4,999. And what makes this one special is not only do you get an entire year's worth of circuits, you can stretch it out. You can take it, like, for example, you have up to 2 years to redeem that. And on top of it, that now comes with unlimited group circuits from that point forward. Okay, unlimited access, which means every single time your coach offers that circuit in the future, you can rejoin, re-accountability, re-up everything at no additional cost. That's our unlimited plan. The tech subscription, the $99 or our $29.59, those techs are separate. Okay, that's not included, but it does include unlimited lifetime coaching from that point forward for those of you that choose the pro circuit and you want to go pro. Okay, so that's the investment. Now, all of this should be tax deductible on top of it. And again, the way you want to make any business decision is, does it create an ROI? Will 1 circuit or 2 circuits or all the circuits help you to make more money than whatever your investment is? And again, sometimes just this accountability alone is worth that money, obviously. For those of you that say, hey, you know, it's in my moments of decision that my destiny is shaped. So Stephanie, would you mind, let's go ahead and put up the poll. Do we have a poll for this? We do, right? Yeah.
Yep, we do.
Let's put up a poll, and I just want to get a pulse. Just be real with us, because we don't know how to help you otherwise. Is which coaching program are you most interested in? 1 circuit, 2 circuits, the pro circuit, which is the whole enchilada, or no thanks, I don't want the coaching program. You're just going to stick to the subscription. Okay. And again, you know, there's no right or wrong answer. It's whatever one's best for you. If you have certain financial considerations that you need to take, get back with the coach, right? The coach that referred you can help you through that process. And there's several ways for people to come up with the money that's required for coaching for those of you that want it. And again, you don't ever want money to be the reason you don't do something. Like, remember, it's the lowest form of wealth. I get that it is a level or obstacle, but that's the whole point of overcoming it. And we have a way of helping people come up with access to that if they need it. And you can talk to your coach about that. Okay. So what's cool is look at this, like just look at the feedback. It's okay for those that say, no, thanks. I'd rather people say like, I'll stick with my subscriptions and I'm going to do it on the do-it-yourself program. And that's awesome. Like, that's why we have those tech subscriptions. Coaching is not for everyone. Let's just be honest. Coaching requires accountability. Coaching requires effort and energy. But if the results on the back end move you to that next level, then what could become possible? And that's what's at stake. What's at stake is what might not happen if you don't. Okay. And that's basically how you look at this type of an investment into yourself. So thank you for those of you that said that. You're ready to move forward. And for those, you can go ahead and end the poll, or maybe you did, and it's still on my screen. It just bugs me on my screen. Sorry. Okay. So what are the next steps? For those of you that say, I want to participate in coaching, you at least want to consider it. You want to have a conversation. You want to talk to someone about it. Then the instruction is simply this: email coach@codebreakertech.com. And if you would go ahead and do that immediately following our webinar. And what I'd like for you to do is a couple things. Number one, tell us who you are, what your bank code is, and your interest level. Are you interested in one circuit or all 4 circuits, whatever it is? Number two, let us know how quickly you're ready to get started. We have a coaching circuit starting as early as next week. For those of you that say, I don't want to delay because time is money and let's go. Like COVID's created an impact and I got to make up for it. We are entering one of the best selling seasons of the year, the fall season, the harvest season. And it's very important if some of you want to accelerate at this point, it's very important before we get into the holidays when the world will shut back down and people will say, I've had it. 2020 sucks and I don't want to deal with it. Talk to me next year. So this is a very important season to ramp up before you just lose the entire year. So you're going to email coach@codebreakertech.com and you're going to let us know what level or program you're interested in. There's one more thing that I want to know before we go. And that is those of you that would be interested in our coaching program. Okay. We're going to do a very special webinar for those of you that are interested in becoming a certified coach. And actually, I think we have one last poll question because I just want to know. A lot of you type it in the chat box, but let's just put it on a poll. This gives me a great visual. Thank you, Stephanie. Are you interested in becoming a certified code breaker coach? Okay. No, thanks. I want to remain a client is an option, and we're honored to have you as a client, and we want to support you in every way. And for those of you that say yes, there's something inside of me that says this is the missing link. This is what I've been looking for. This is either going to be an extra additional stream of income. You could use an extra $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. You could even use, for some of you that really want to pop this thing, an extra 8, 10, 15,000 a month is possible. Okay. And this is exciting, right? For the right people. It's not for everyone. But if you say this is for me, our coach certification program, we've only hosted it twice. Okay. 2 times in a year. Our next window of opportunity starts the pre-enrollment and the orientation week starts next week. Okay. I know it's tight, but we're ending the summer here and we're ready to go for fall season, like I said. So if that's you, then I want you to, and you can go ahead and end the poll. Thank you. 72% of you said I'm interested, which is awesome. When you email coach, indicate that you are interested in becoming a coach as well in your email. And in the email, you're going to get an autoresponder. The autoresponder email that's automatically going to go out to you is going to do 2 things. One, it's going to give you a link to download the coaching order form that gives you the access to circuits 1 through 4 on there. For those of you that are interested in being a client or a coach, there's that form. And then it also gives you the link to Saturday's webinar. I'm going to carve out 90 minutes on Saturday morning, 9:00 a.m. Pacific, adjust for your time zone. And I'm going to walk you through the coaching business model. I'm going to show you exactly how our coaches earn money. It's an absolute no-brainer. You get paid on every single coaching package that you sell. We pay out 80% if you are the coach doing the fulfillment. It's huge. No one is doing it. And we pay you on all tech subscriptions so that you can earn massive passive income and put you on your way to money mastery, level 1 of wealth, so that you can continue on your journey towards self-optimization. Okay. So that's going to be August 29th. And I get that I've gone 10 minutes over. I apologize for that. I think I got myself excited in answering more questions for you guys. But I've got something special that I want to do. For those of you that want to stay on, and we're recording it, okay, you can get access to the recording in the Facebook group if you have to go. But I want to bring out a couple people real quick. And I'll stop sharing my screen. And I want you to hear from a few people who have something to say about this program, all right? People who have gone through our actual Bank iOS coaching program. I want you to hear from their perspective and not just me. I don't want this to be a sales pitch or anything else like this. This is truly our way of paying it forward and giving access to things that you wouldn't get otherwise. So Stephanie, would you mind calling out some of our special guests, and let's just have a few people share. This might take an extra 10 minutes or so for those of you that want to stay and hear straight from real people.
Yes, I want to bring forward Yvonne Silver. She is a coach in Canada, and she has a testimonial she would like to share with everyone. So Yvonne, I believe you can, you're unmuted.
Great. Thank you for the invitation. I was certified as an executive coach 10 years ago, and when COVID hit, was looking for a way to access some leading edge new concepts and tools. And I fell in love with Bank after realizing how closely aligned it was with my work as a confidence and conversations expert. So within the first 3 weeks, I landed a new client who was a knowledge personality that I would never have had the patience to sit with. And that was really intriguing. And then within the first few weeks again, made back double my investment. So I was very happy, and it's just continued to enrich what I do. And I use the AI every opportunity I get. It's very, very cool. People love it.
Thank you, Yvonne. I appreciate you coming out here and sharing. And actually, yesterday we had you and I had a call together as one of our new coaches. Yvonne created a connection, and I won't reveal any of the data because it's private, but she connected us to an organization that has already 70,000 members, and they are interested in doing a bank relationship with our company to bring our products and services and technology and coaching to their entire organization. That's her first introduction. So let's just say that there's pretty amazing things happening already for our coaches. Thank you, Yvonne.
Thanks, Sherry.
All right, I've got Jane Johnston on deck here. Jane, I think you can unmute yourself.
Am I unmuted now?
You are.
Okay. So before Bank, I really felt like I'd reached a kind of glass ceiling in real estate. I'd been in real estate for 10 years, and I couldn't crack the top 10% of real estate. I took the Bank course, and the next year I increased my production by 70%. So I went from 35 transactions to 67, and I earned almost $700,000 that year. I'm now one of the top 100 realtors in RE/MAX of Western Canada. And I would say the biggest benefit is I can listen without judgment. I solve problems way better. I'm probably more charismatic, and I'm very effective at being in real estate without selling my soul.
Well, Jane, I appreciate you coming out here and sharing that. And you have really an amazing story. I mean, just even applying Bank and going through all of this. I remember you telling me you went from selling how many homes to how many homes?
35 to 67 in 1 year.
35 homes to 67. And what type of financial differential did that create for you and your family?
Less than 300 to almost $700,000 a year.
So, I mean, double the income, like under 300,000 to over 700,000 in a year is like ridiculous. It's just awesome. That's the part, that's the money part that we're talking about when you apply this. So great job, Jane. Thank you for coming out here.
Thank you.
All right, we have one more, and that is Kathy Compton, and she's not from Canada. So we had to have a testimonial that's not from Canada. So Kathy, I believe you can unmute yourself.
Okay, great. Thank you, Stephanie. Thanks for the opportunity. You know, bank has literally been a game changer for me. So when I was introduced to bank, although while I was a high level coach, I'm in 2 Hall of Fames, highly successful in the sports world, and I've worked with Olympic athletes and the best of the best, I could never understand why I missed opportunity after opportunity after opportunity once I was no longer in the sports world. I got introduced to bank and I was like, oh, it makes total sense. My blueprint actually had me stuck in that I'm not ready. I'm not prepared. I don't have what I need to take it to the next level. So I became a coach inside this program, and I'll tell you what, it literally altered my life. I'm now getting ready to close a deal with a CEO of a company whose product is going to be in multiple countries. The military will use it, FEMA will use it. And so literally becoming a coach in this program has altered my ability to do business with people.
Kathy, sorry, I wanted to make sure I wasn't on mute. I was trying to answer some questions. Kathy, thank you for sharing, because you're really an amazing person. And Kathy, what I love about Kathy is she's a blueprint. And Kathy, from the perspective of being a blueprint, because, you know, they're not the #1 code of who we attract as a company. How has this been for you, being a blueprint, learning the bank system and implementing it?
Well, it was in seeing the bank codes that I realized why I missed opportunities that actually had me sitting on my couch in my living room watching the Cubs win the World Series instead of actually being in the press box with them coaching their team. So 3 years before that, before they won the World Series, and by the way, they hadn't won in 108 years, I was coaching the owner of the Cubs, giving him the blueprint on how to win. Now, the cool thing about that is they won the World Series. The thing that's not so cool, he invited me to come and work with the Cubs, and my blueprint tendencies had me say, oh no, I'm not ready. So as a blueprint, when I saw bank, I knew I had missed on so many opportunities of a lifetime, and I actually wasn't going to miss this one. So that doesn't happen. In fact, I've started working with the Diamondbacks, which is the baseball team here in Arizona. And that it literally altered my life, seeing how this system, how being a blueprint actually has held me back from doing what I love to do and making a difference.
Well, thank you for sharing. I mean, it's huge. I just seen amazing personal growth, and some of the people that are asking questions, how long have they taken the program, or coaches, you know, some of the people that we brought out, like Jane and Kathy, have been studying bank for a couple of years, and then became a certified trainer and then a certified coach. The coaching program is brand new. We introduced the coaching program as a virtual business when COVID hit. Quite frankly, our clients wanted virtual programs, and we needed a coaching program. We did not have a coaching and accountability program, and so many of our customers wanted it. So we actually created it and created the opportunity for people to get certified. Yvonne is brand new with our company, and she jumped in with both feet right off the bat. She went, she not only wanted to be a coaching client, she wanted to go straight to coach certification. And there's a special incentive for those of you that say, I want to be a coach and just start off as a coach. And we'll go over that in our webinar. So thank you, Kathy. Stephanie, is Mamie back on?
There was a thunderstorm. She has bad connection. She's having a hard time getting back on.
Okay, well, that's a bummer, because Mamie was going to share something really, really powerful with you. And I'll just give the Cliff Note version. What Mamie was going to share with you is she's gone through several different coaching programs and coach certification programs, some of from celebrity people whose names you would know. And she will share with you, and maybe she'll be on the webinar, the Q&A session tomorrow, and she can tell you directly. But this is the only coaching program she has been through in her entire career that has this type of accountability and results that can be measured with the Bank iOS assessment. The before and the after, and you will visually see the needle move in each of those 6 dimensions, and that will create an output on the back end that drives significant ROI, which is pretty, it's a great it's a great testimonial. You know, it just speaks to how powerful this coaching program actually is. Stephanie, there's two more people that are going to speak, you and Esther, and then I'll wrap this. Like I said, we're over, but this is the bonus time for those of you that don't want to hang up. Stephanie, I'd love for you to share personally, because you started off as a customer who wanted to become a trainer, and then today you're the director of training and personal development with our whole company. What's your experience, and what are your final words that you would like to share as we wrap Masterclass?
Yeah, so my journey over the last 5 years with this methodology, with you and Esther and the company, has been nothing short of life altering. And I think the key is that when we are super passionate about what we do, when we have a knowing inside of us that we are meant to help people and we are meant to do it with our unique gifts. What I love about Bank is that it can be inside of anyone's unique gift and brand. Any individual, any company, any organization can take Bank and put it inside what they're already good at. And it just gives them jet fuel to become a better version of themselves. And I feel like that has been my journey in the last 5 years, is I feel like I'm a better version of myself. I'm better at using my own gifts in ways that make a bigger impact with everyone I come in contact with. And I couldn't be more honored, honestly, to have been placed in the director of training position this year, after the last 5 years of studying Bank, mastering Bank, learning the language, practicing, failing. You know my story, Sherry, of when I've messed up and when I've kicked myself, but I knew why it happened. I knew that I didn't speak the right code, and it was a learning experience. And so then you just pick yourself up and you do it again and again and again. And the more you practice, the better you get, and the more doors open for you and the more possibilities come into your life. So super thrilled to support everyone tomorrow on our support call on Friday. It's 9 a.m. It's 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Mamie and I will be there to just answer questions, give you examples, whatever you need. And then, of course, on Saturday, we're excited to talk to everyone about the coach position, if that feels like a good fit.
Thank you, Stephanie. I'm so proud of your growth. Like it feels so good. Like, and this is for those of you that mentor people. If you become a coach, it feels so amazing when you can actually teach and transfer skills to other people and watch them become all that they can be. Like, it's just been an honor to be involved in that process. And I love working with you. Thank you for that. Now, last person that I want to have the opportunity is my amazing wife. She's by far the most incredible person I've ever met. And what I love about Esther is Esther didn't start off as someone that I was dating or something like. She started off as a client, and she took Bank, and she really mastered it. And it so impressed me that as I got to know her, I ended up falling in love with her. And I'm humbled by being able to work side by side with such an amazing, powerful woman who is emotionally intelligent, spiritually intelligent, and overall intelligent in each of these 6 dimensions. And so, Esther, I'd love for you to come out here and just share a few final words. What would you like to share with this incredible group of Masterclass as we wrap?
What I really love to share is that I think over the past 7 years, I know your commitment. That's what I really was attracted to, really to change the world. Being successful as a consultant and doing retreats 4 times a year to help people to step into their power. I realized I needed a system and something bigger that really impacted way more people. And what we're doing with our company is impacting so many lives around the world, so many cultures and countries where it's like we're in the Middle East, like we're in Asia, we're in Africa, we're in continents where a lot of people don't want to go, but they need it and they actually love what we do. And so, I'm action first, but my nurture is very close right behind it. And I know every single day, if I can touch a heart, that I changed the life. And that is the impact I want to leave. And I know the coaching program was born out of the COVID pandemic lockdown, and we wanted to help a lot of people to have hope and faith in a new opportunity. Actually, coaching is in the top 3 of the biggest opportunities in 2020 and 2021 and moving forward. And we have one of the most powerful coaching programs. Even some of our advisors and our mentors are saying that they've never seen something like this, and the impact and the results are proven and measurable. And most times coaching is not measurable. Our coaching program proves that it's measurable, and we can see the results every single week. It's a 12-week program with 6 sessions and accountability in between. And in just a few weeks, you move the needle. And even ourselves, we have been moving our needles, right? When you coach and you mentor, you grow yourself too, right? And now we have this little man here that really is our bigger why, and we want to leave a legacy he can carry on. And if you want to be part of our big movement, I highly recommend you become a coach. We have an amazing community with amazing coaches and trainers, and we are unstoppable. We are having some very big conversations going on in different industries, and the coaching program is going to help you to level up in your personal life, in your relationship, in your marriage, with your kids, and in business. Things will start to flow easier, money-wise, relationship-wise, retention-wise. So I'm just proud we created it. I'm proud to be part of it. I want to thank Mamie and Stephanie for always showing up level 10 on our team to always support us when we do our calls and webinars. And you know, it takes a team to make a difference, and it takes a community to change the world. So that's what I want to share. And this little man is our deeper why. And so now it has a whole other meaning to really change the world for the next generation.
Thank you, Esther. I can't stop staring at you and our little baby. And you know, this is us, guys. Like this is who we are as a company, as people. And thank you for coming out here and sharing and letting me see our little man. He makes me smile so much. So as we wrap, and I saw a few questions that were coming in. Let me just re-clarify the offer and the next steps. Okay. The $1 trial, the masterclass link and the $1 trial will be up through end of day on August 31st. Okay. So today's the 27th. You've got 4 days. If you want to share this with anyone in your network,
it's in the middle of the
some of you have sales teams, some of you are in network marketing, some of you are whatever you are, and you want to share this with other people, you've got 4 days to share this, and they will get access to the Facebook group. They can sign up through the masterclass link and the $1 trial, and then they will get the $1 experience of Codebreaker AI and Bank Pass for a month. And then after that, they'll convert to the subscription or cancel or whatever. Okay, so you can share that with some people if you'd like them to get access. You want them to join the Facebook group, invite them to the group, okay? But they have to register for the masterclass link in order to get access to the trial. That is the only way. It's a hidden link. That's the only way to find it because it's only up for 4 more days. This was our special offer, okay, for those of you that took action. For those of you that say, I'm ready for the next level, one is upgrade your subscription to the $99. Okay, so that's part of the program. If you're going to do coaching, I recommend it regardless. The nuggets, if you thought Masterclass was great, the Bank Vault will blow you away. Okay, so that's the $99 a month subscription, and you can simply upgrade. If you need help upgrading, come to the Q&A session tomorrow. We'll let you know how to upgrade. For those of you that say, I'm interested in your coaching program, whether you want to do 1 circuit or all 4 circuits, or you are interested in the coach certification program, then email coach@codebreakertech.com, and we'll put that link here in the chat box. That's going to go here. So the investment is $1,499 for 1 90-day circuit plus the $99 a month. Okay, so if you don't already have that subscription, you would be required to activate that because you're going to need to log in, and the video modules and things that go with the coaching program are inside the Bank Vault, so your subscription is required. Okay, after that, you can downgrade, cancel, whatever you want, but of course, you probably never will. Why? You know why. So that's the decision. Again, a lot of you will choose to do the pro circuit. That's the $4,999 investment. Why? You get lifetime coaching access at that point to the coaching groups that go forward with your certified coach. and lifetime accountability. You continue to expand your network professionally with every batch of group that goes through coaching. You're getting to know pretty intimately in business. You may even do business with some of those people because you build relationships with those people that becomes priceless. And of course, the more you coach, the better you become. And if you want to master it, teach it. And that is the opportunity to become one of our certified coaches and now officially declare this as one of your streams of income to create some massive and passive income streams for you and your family, to go accelerate the impact, the income, and the influence that you can do here in this lifetime. This is going to be an amazing ride. We here at Bank and Codebreaker Technologies, I can promise you one thing. We will not stop until Bank is a household name. We will not stop until we believe we have changed the world. Okay. It's a daunting mission and there's no way we can do it without amazing, good people like you. So if you have the guts and courage and want to join us on this ride, then please come along. Tomorrow is a Q&A session to help answer any outstanding questions. It's in the Masterclass Facebook group link, 10 a.m. You can dial in, answer your questions. If your questions didn't get answered today, come tomorrow and get back to the person that invited you. They can get you more information on the products. They can help make sure you have the right links to buy your subscriptions, to purchase the coaching program or anything like that. That person is there for a reason and we pay them. Okay. We pay them to take care of you. You are their client and our client. And it's an amazing ecosystem inside our community. So from the bottom of my heart, let me just end with this. Thank you for honoring us with your time during this very special time in our world and our world economy, especially as Zoom sessions are eating up your life everywhere you turn. The choice to participate in Masterclass and to show up live and to be here with us at the expense of telling other things in your schedule no, including perhaps your family and maybe your kids are crying and they want dinner right now. Luckily mine is sleeping. Just thank you. Thank you for honoring our coaches and trainers who cared enough to share the invitation with you because they believed they had access to something that could potentially change your life and your business for the better. And you honored them when you registered. Where you take it from here is up to you. Your journey is completely up to you. You are in control of your own destiny. For those of you who say, yes, I want to continue the journey. I want to maintain or upgrade my subscriptions. I want to involve myself in coaching. I want to be held accountable. I want to step into who I can become. Let me just end again with the very powerful quote from Tony Robbins. And I think it's appropriate. I'm going to just pull it up on my screen as we end. I want you to just stare at it one last time, because this is why we are here with you. Okay. The secret, my friend, to an extraordinary life, not an ordinary life. You deserve better than ordinary. The secret to an extraordinary life is to demand more from yourself than anyone else could possibly ever expect. Okay. Raise your standards. So thank you for those of you that are going to continue the journey with us. I want to go ahead and end tonight's session and just appreciate you for your time. We'll see you on one of our upcoming webinars. And again, if you're interested in coach, we will see you on the Saturday morning webinar where we will answer all your questions and go through the process and application of what's required to become one of our coaches. Certification starts next week, so there's no time to procrastinate. Let us know. And the replay links for this will be available in the Facebook group coming up soon. We had a success plan for you. We've posted the link. We'll post it on Facebook. That's the last success plan that comes with Masterclass session 4. We'll make sure that you have access to it if you did not get it. And just thank you. So Stephanie, Mamie, Esther, it's been a privilege to co-facilitate this Masterclass with you. Good night, everyone, or good morning, or good day, depending on where you're listening and watching from around the world. God bless you on your journey for success. May you become all that you are predestined to become. And of course, as always, I like to say, take it to the bank. Esther likes to say,
take it to the beach.
Take it to the beach. And our son likes to say, take it to the boat. Okay, that's our little family joke. But anyway, love you guys and have a great night.
Bye, everyone.